just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. You know, I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who won the fight? Me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter beat me.
Our goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Body Work. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. There's a lot going on outside. Nobody's safe, son. Listen, man. There's a whole lot of bullshit and cannon fodder, we used to call it in the military, going on out here, man. You got to know the real for the fake, man. Shout out to Pop. Shout out to AC. Shout out to Aaron Jones, May Lazar, Cookie Monster, his twin, Champion Sports Boxing. You did. I just want to say what's up to my people, man. I love y'all, man. Whenever I get the energy, Ghost. Ghost say, hey, good things is coming. He gonna be back active, man. Ghost used to have a chat lit. I just wanted to take this, the first, make y'all first, man, because everybody who come in from C-Dub, Road Rage, Jose Rodriguez, you know what I'm saying? It's always a good thing when we can come together, man, and talk some of that good old boxing talk. And I've been trying to keep my head. I've been trying to keep my head inside of closed doors. You know how they say when you step outside your lane, you'll get your toes ran over. I said, you know what? I got a lane, man. Y'all know my saying, I ain't trying to be the Drake of this shit. I'm more like the Lloyd Banks of this shit. Guess what? I'm gonna be fine. Cause I can walk away from this shit. That's the beauty in the channel. And that's just my little commercial, man. I hate hardy or high-minded people, so I hope you didn't take it as such. That's just how I feel about it, man. I'm like, man, I gotta be able to have a conversation anywhere I go. I don't gotta be a different person at the gas station and then go to the DMV like I was the other day and be somebody totally different. That's not me. So when I get online, man, I'm still that motto that we had when I joined up the army, for the army, be all you can be. Yes, that's me. They programmed me. You know what I'm saying? I can't deny it. I'm just being honest. I represent the blue collar. You know what I'm saying? I represent the get it out the muds. I don't represent these aristocrats who will use semantics and be snobby and hardy and high-minded and telling people in the business what they should be doing and this. I'm like, what? They in the business. It's like, man, unless you know exactly what they're doing, you could be right. You could be right. But unless you know exactly what they're doing, like you in the conference rooms, man, sit back and STFU. Excuse you. House cleaning, man. You know what I'm saying? I never really understood the whole concept of if you ain't have haters, you ain't popping. I understand now. I never agreed with it. I still don't. I was always one of the ones to where if you were doing better than me, I salute. How can I get down? Like, what's going on? I'm here to share knowledge. Let's germinate. Let's build some shit. Let's revisit that Tower of Babel and shit. Even if we know it's an allegory and shit. It's one of them nights, y'all. Because for me, I see the bullshit coming 100 miles and running. I be seeing it, man. I'm like, man, like we know it's bread and circuses, but some of us, we can go do politics. Like if I had another show and I would talk politics, I would be like, man, listen, man, you blue and red, holler at me over there, man. But this is boxing. And I find it real ironic that people are really like, they're not focused on like the positive. Like, I don't understand it, man. It's like, man, like we are living in a, like AC say, man, perception is reality. I'm like, man, damn. I used to say perception versus reality, but then he came through and he synopsized it and said perception is reality. In today's day and time, that's real. My only caveat is that's online. I'm talking about in your face. Real time. Not these built up narcissists that be all spewing his cannon fodder all online. Don't know how to use their resources, be fumbling all the time. I'm like winged bats. Let me stop bullshit, man. I'm just having fun, man. I'm having a good time, man. But listen, the bottom line is people are so infatuated with the negative and spreading all of this bullshit when it comes down to just wrecking everything that look like you, sound like you, smell like you, move and behave like you. That I'm like, man, is this like I'm seeing the spawn of Club Shay Shays. I'm already seeing people who admire people from the Breakfast Club. Now I admire, like everybody admires the numbers. But if you blue collar, it's a reason why you blue collar, because you realize that it was a invisible line that was drawn in the sand where I don't care how many dollars. I'm not doing that. That's my studio audience. Like and subscribe to the channel, man. I'm not on that bullshit, man. I'm getting hyped because we are days away from Undisputed at 175, like the most critical, most pivotal fight for hardcores and casuals. Because casuals, if this thing was promoted right and people, and they were actually able to lay eyes on that fight because of the caliber of these fighters, it's just one of them things where all the hardcores would have to gather up everybody they knew that was casual and say, listen, man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Look, subscribe to this, and then come into the chat and I'm gonna walk you through it. That's how we gonna do it. But trust me on this one, you don't want to miss this one. This is one of the ones to where, in hindsight, in the age well games, people are going to admire this. And it took me a long time, because you can go all back through my lives where I ever used this thumbnail. But people be thinking I don't just be out here flashing thumbnails just to see how people going to react. As soon as I do that, guess what? I see video after video after video after video, and I get to see and look and listen and watch and wait and plot. This is the light heavyweight division with Beterbiev. A man called him Wolverine. And then Bivol. Man, I'm gonna have to change his name. I called him the Matador, but he might be the human chess piece. Jeez Louise. And I can see why people be having Beterbiev, because you know what I'm saying? Because with him, it's real crazy how people just, oh man, look at him. What it's just bludgeoning power. He's 100%, but it's a little motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That come from right around the corner from where I'm at. He at 93%. He doing it in front of everybody and selling out, and he don't get the same respect. Now I understand 100%, but only 2 people got off the hook. It'd be different energy. And I digress. But people be loving the fact that Beterbiev can break people down, and then Bivol, he just got that sweet science to where him and Shakur Stevenson go back and forth. And I'd be like, man, they're like twins, except for Dmitry Bivol is more offensive. Shakur Stevenson is more defensive. But when it comes down to the plus and minus, they be right back and forth. When you go down and you break down all the numbers, this is everything that everybody went for, except for this guy is from over there in Russia. And his name is Bivol. But he speak good English. And he real civil. He made Canelo Alvarez stand up and be non-committal. He had him leaning up against the ropes, inviting him in. And Bivol was like, nah, you gotta chill a little. They kept feeding him that jab. And we hear that Canelo Alvarez actually relieved that man from an exorbitant amount of money to where he didn't get paid as much as we would have thought somebody who shared the ring with, quote unquote, one of the greatest. You know, however you want to break that down and define that. But the underlying thing to this, man, I'm gonna get into the curriculum so I can come on out and address everything. And I'm gonna take my time because this is a classic. And why everybody on that bullshit, all that he say, she say, this fight is so close to the finish line that I can't wait. It's like right now for me, all this other bullshit, this shit don't matter. This shit is for the minions. You know what I'm saying? This shit that's going on right now, people that's talking about that shit is for the minions, man. The people that's just going to feed you all that sugar and that soda. They gonna put that battery in your back. They gonna bend you over. I'm sorry. Pardon me. You got any Grey Poupon? Nah. That's me. The subject matter of the day when I get down to the curriculum is marination. Boxing marination. And I'm going to get into the history of this fight, but if you look at the politics and how long this fight took and all of the things, I'm gonna get down through it. You know what I'm saying? And if you catch on the playback, if you got to sit and have 2 listens, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? The program going to be what it's going to be. I just hope that you catch it, you listen, you know what I'm saying? You open up your mind, you use your critical thinking skills, and you just analyze everything I'm about to talk about when it comes down to this fight, man. I found an excellent piece on it, and it goes right along with what I've been saying as far as how when everything is right in boxing and when there are very critical things to the sport and the integrity of boxing, nobody's talking about it. They all on these bullshit ass topics, and so I got to keep it boxing. I'm the one that put the stakes in the ground. I was doing it for Sabril Matias, and I got good news about my man Richardson Hitchens. I already heard people shitting on that man. A man from New York. Don't let me get started. He played his game. He was in the IBF under the 10-pound rehydration, tested himself out. And the man that Keyshawn Davis getting ready to fight, Keyshawn gonna get more credit for fighting that guy than Richardson Hitchens is for taking on Liam Paro. Man, you know the video coming. 10 times 10. What's that? Manyan. Boxing marination is a term used to describe a fight that is either served too dry or before it is fully juicy and flavorful. The term is similar to the process of marinating food, which involves Soak it in fluid to enhance its flavor, add moisture, and tenderize. That's boxing marination, and I found this piece, man. And I gotta present it, man. I gotta run it off to you. Let me prepare this piece, and I'm gonna run through this thing. Before I do it, cause they be trying to catch you, man, with your trousers in a weird place. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta do this. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, let me do this. Let me run this real quick. Let me run this for a second. And make sure, because they be doing it with times, they'll glitch your video. They real creative with trying to hamstring you, but guess what? I sit back, I do my research. You won't get me. You won't get me. Fair use, fair use, fair. Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Educational purposes is not mine. I always give credit where it's due. You feel me? MaxBoxing.com. This was back in 2018, right? Let the fight marinate. Good or bad for boxing. By Anthony Zoot George. And this is one of the best pieces I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? This is for my people that, you know what I'm saying, they don't think with their lower extremities all the time. They use their critical thinking skills. They open up their mind. They think. They're not robots. They're not minions. They're not echo chambers. Boxing has always been about the best fighting the best. Indeed. When the top pugilists of their time fight each other, it can do wonders for their legacies. Win or loss, case in point, Carl Froch. Carl is a boxer who is not going to be mistaken for the best of his era. However, he is held in high regard because of his impressive resume, win or lose. Froch fought them all. That is all you can ask for. That is all fans want. I often kid the boxing public about their fascination with Harry Greb, but it's clear the fascination exists because Greb's record is loaded with Hall of Famers. If the best fight the best, it goes a long way. Or does it? I have been told I am a fool if I think boxers care about their legacy, and it shows that I know nothing about the business of boxing. So what is it all about? Sometimes it is about when the best fight the best. Let the fight marinate, as they say. What this means is we will all have to wait a long time to see the fight we really want. But let us really dissect the meaning of the word marinate. To let something marinate, like a steak, is an attempt to have the best possible eating experience for everyone except the poor cow. Go vegan. Because if you just devour a steak before it can soak up all the flavors to complement it, well, it's not as euphoric experience for your palate. Shout out to my man Pop, man. He be saying that tougher than the $2 steak, and I be doubling back, and I be like, yeah, but faker than a $2 bill. Let me digress. Let us translate that into boxing. When promoters want to fight to marinate, are they doing it to give us the best possible aesthetic experience? Or are they doing it to maximize their financial gain for their company? Yikes. Good question, Einsteins. You know what I'm saying? My critical thinkers, not my rememorization and regurgitation rote memory learners / minions. If it is the latter, it proves that boxing is a business that does not put the customer first. You don't figure. Let us look at the current situation with Top Rank Boxing. You gotta think about the time of this article. Listen, man. Listen, this is why I like stuff like this, man. Because he's in the vein of what I'm on, man. Listen, this is gonna age. Just listen to this. Let me read this over. Listen to this. Let us look at the current situation with Top Rank Boxing. Regis Prograis and Jose Ramirez. By all accounts, these two fine 140-pound pugilists should be getting ready to fight each other. It would be an immediate fight of the year candidate that would generate massive social media buzz. Nobody talks around the water cooler anymore. Instead, both fighters are set to fight much softer competition. Oh man, it's this now. What was that? 2018, even 2024. Okay. All because Bob Arum and Top Rank Boxing feel that the fight between Ramirez and Prograis needs to marinate. Oh my goodness. This is why I say this is what I do. My channel is about this. You know what I'm saying? So my pieces, when I just did videos, even though I use these to reference it, he's in the vein of what I'm doing. But see, he wrote the articles. I do the visuals now. He's writing the articles. As it stands with Regis, plans pretty set for the next few fights. We may never get to see this fight, which is a shame, because it is the best possible fight that can be made at 140 pounds right now. Does Ramirez versus Prograis stand to be a better fight? Let's say a year and a half from now. Does it stand to make more money? I say no on both accounts, but only time will tell. There's no doubt Bob Arum is a much smarter businessman than me. You know what I'm saying? That's what I be saying. All these people out here, I'm sure y'all much better whatever than me. But I think this is a clear case of him thinking Prograis is too much of a risk for his fighter. Pacquiao and Bud, Eureka! Ramirez, who does make him a lot of money, especially when he fights in Fresno. And we saw when Ramirez, man, and this is well after the fact, but we seen where Ramirez used that to his advantage, because Jose Ramirez has had more shots at a title than most people who ever lace him up will ever even smell. He's refused. because he can get a bag in Fresno. And this article is telling you that boxing is a business first. The reason why they can't get away with this is because both Prograis and Ramirez are fun to watch, and boxing fans will show up regardless of their opponent. With losses being so detrimental to a prize fighter these days, I suppose it's a smart move. There's also the hope that if both fighters keep winning, they will eventually have to face each other. Sound theory. But it does not always work out that way. Even in the 1970s and early 80s. I was born in 1980. I don't mind dating myself. 43, about to be 44. Legends are born in December. My Sagittarius. Stand up. When there were only 2 world titles, there were very few unified champions. That, my friends, is boxing. Chin up, boxing fans. Boxing history does show us that let the fight marinate sometimes works. It works sometimes. When Thomas Hearns thrashed Pipino Cuevas to capture the WBA welterweight championship in August of 1980, I was born in December of 1980. I wasn't even born yet. Couple months out, about 4 months out. Most boxing fans anticipated an immediate showdown between the Hitman and WBC champion Ray Leonard. Angelo Dundee, the man with the ultimate juice, said, "Not so fast." Angelo felt that this fight needed a bigger build-up to maximize the bank accounts of everyone involved. Dundee could not have been more correct. When the fight went down in September of 1981, it was a closed-circuit smash and one of the best fights of all time. After his fights with Roberto Duran, Leonard was more battle-tested pugilist, and in my opinion was the key to the fight. Not only was Hearns new to such a big spotlight, trainer Emanuel Stewart was under the bright lights for the first time as well. That's history. And by some accounts, Mr. Stewart did not have a good night working with Tommy's corner. History, y'all. History. With that said, the loss did nothing to taint the legacies of Hearn or Stewart. And the fact that Leonard waited so long to give Hearns the rematch everyone wanted to see turned out to be a hit for Ray. So look at what's going on with something that just happened, that most pivotal fight that happened in 2023. Albeit a slight one. So, fight marination does work in some cases, but Leonard versus Hearns did not take years to soak up the flavors. Nowadays, let the fight marinate can take years. Look at Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Manny Pacquiao. We all know that. We all know that. That fight happened about 5 years too late. But with all the money it made, who can say it was a bad move? Indeed, it was an aesthetic agony for the fans. But what does that have to do with the business of boxing, right? Everyone involved in that fight made out like a bandit, and the fans were left less than satisfied. Their brains saturated with thoughts of what if the fight happened when both fighters were still at the top of their game. Keep thinking. And that is the biggest problem in boxing. So often we never get to see the best fight the best. Or when we do, it's when the fighter have lost a little or a lot. You know what I'm saying? A little or a lot. Think Ray Boom Boom Mancini and Hector Camacho. So they going way back. That's why Leonard versus Hearn is still high in regard today. It's one of the few times where the two best fighters of their division fought at the same exact right time. Frazier versus Ali also comes to mind. But that fight had a lot of unique attachments to it. What is the most clamored fight today? I would say Joshua versus Wilder. Eureka! Don't make me scroll back up to the top of this article. What's the most common? I would say Anthony versus Wilder. While building up to the fight doesn't seem to be the reason why this fight might not happen, as there are constant negotiations to make the fight, we may not see it nonetheless. So back then they was keeping tabs on it. Sad but true. Rival promoters and television networks can do wonders to spoil a fight in today's scope of boxing. Which is why when we have a situation where everyone is willing to play nice with each other, like with Ramirez and Prograis fight, we do not have time to let the fight marinate. We need to see it now. This is just an article form, man. Is it too much to ask from the business of boxing to give us the fights we really want? Here is a list of fights I am sure everyone would love to see. Number 1, Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. What did Bob Arum come out and say with people doing videos on it? Did we see that fight? I believe what I say, this article was what, 2018? 2018 or 2019? We in 2024. Look at this. David Benavidez and Gilberto Ramirez. Did they fight? Golly. Triple G and Jamal Charlo. Did they fight? Jarrett Swift Hurd and Jamal Charlo. Did they fight? Errol Spence Jr. versus Jeff Horn, the Terrence Bud Crawford winner. They did fight. That's 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5, man. Jose Ramirez versus Regis Prograis. Did they fight? Mikey Garcia and Vasil Lomachenko. Did they fight? Gary Russell Jr. versus Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mares winner. Did they fight? Now, Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mares fight, but Gary Russell Jr. didn't get to lay hands on either one of them. Tank wound up getting Leo Santa Cruz, and Abner Mares, punk ass, pulled out of the fight. That's why I be irking me when I be up here and everything he say every time. I'm like, why would y'all ever have him comment on anything they got to do with that man? Well, he was engaged in negotiations, and yeah, okay, I understand retina. But he don't never get the same scrutiny that Errol Spence got for retina. But Abner Mares pulled out of that goddamn fight. Tank would have had Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mares both on his resume. And they got that man up there commentating. And they be wondering why I be frustrated. Gary Russell ain't even get to take. Gary Russell went up and put his arm around Leo Santa Cruz pops. Tank had the pops on the side of the stage looking like he might have ended the game. The end of days. Gary Russell ain't get to touch him. Then you got Ron Vasai and Alcahas. And then Sergey Kovalev and Artur Beterbiev. Did they ever fight? So on that list, how many of them fights did we get? Out of them 10 fights. So they'll try to sway you depending on who you listen to. They get you all worked up, all spent around, all full of crazy energy. And we don't even get the fights, but we get beef, we get separation, we get division, we get all this dumb shit. People full of pride. Won't let their egos go. But won't pay attention to the balls going in the holes. And I always say it, soccer balls going in goals. Binary. You pregnant or not? Did we hit the free throw or not? Were you out of bounds or not? It's not up for discussion. When you cut down all the bullshit that people like discussing. Within 1 year, how many of these fights will we actually see? I'm sure you can make your own wish list and just sit and wait to see if boxing business cares about making the fans happy, or are they just interested in bleeding us dry, teasing us all the while. People like to say boxing game is strong, but if we do not get past at least 3 of these fights, I'm willing to buy low. How can it be? And remember, if we all turn vegan, there's no need to marinate. Man, Anthony George spit that piece, man. Salute to Anthony George, man. He think like me, man. I'm not ashamed to say it. That's why it's so befitting, because we're getting this fight and through politics and all the BS that was going on with this fight and the people that was involved and engaged in this fight. We are going to get it, but it has had its sound. It has had its hamstrings. Let me get to these comments before I get to the other piece. AC, salute bodywork. Salute AC. Cookie Monster, salute bodywork. Salute Cookie Monster. Sounding good. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. This is a classic. You can't debate anyone's pick. Pure 50-50 at its best. Facts. Boxing USA, Russia, Ukraine, man, politics. What are we talking? In my crush voice. Yeah. I can hear him saying that. Facts. If the best fight the best, it creates memorable moments. Yeah. One day Crush will come on the channel. You know what I'm saying? I've been waiting. Salute Cookie Monster. Yeah. So I can hear him saying that, man. What are we talking about? But for a long time, this fight was not getting made. And for a period of time, it could have got made. But just like people acknowledge when Usyk and Loma had that thing with the war, you got to acknowledge that politics, especially with American politics and Russian politics, you know what I'm saying, for educational purposes, especially when them guys were kind of beefing and on edge, it was a point in time when they stopped the Russian fighters from being able to compete if they had titles. And I said, oh man, they're going to really mess this up. I was like, why? Because these guys are not spring chickens. And it's like, man, they've got to the point where you can't tell anybody about Beterbiev and you can't tell anybody about Bivol, and they don't know who you're talking about. They actually know who you're talking about. They might not know everything, but they actually know who you're talking about. It's just that you can't say that they're a household name. Like somebody who ID gaff about boxing, they might not ever know them. But if you know anything about boxing, even if you're a casual, you actually know those names. That's pretty rare from two people coming over from Russia. But that's the first piece. Get some water. That's the first piece, y'all. The second piece is it's a history line, and when you go back and you dig deep, because I've done it in my lives, man. If you go back, it's a treasure trove. Just like going back and reading this article, going back through the videos of mine is just like that, but in visual form. And in some of them, I've been doing this article stuff and confirming my thoughts and everything, qualifying like college students writing papers who have to use citation. I've been doing that for the longest. I haven't just been going around stealing people's shit like everybody else. So if you go back and you check out them pieces, you'll see how I've been laying down a foundation. And this fight has been getting hamstringed. Even if you go back up to the reason why I got pushed back, because this is not the first date for this fight. And that's when I was questioning whether or not do we give Turkey full credit or partial credit or whatever. Because when I was saying, I was making a claim that yes, he is making some great fights and all that. My argument was, and people who weren't paying attention, my argument was he making was he making American boxing great again? I gave him that because he was making some good fights, so I did give him that. But in making this fight, making some of these fights, I was like, okay, cool. I said that, listen, we gotta wait and see if this fight actually get across the finish line. And just like I felt when I had did a video, and that's why I stopped doing, I said, listen, I'm just gonna wait, and as close as I can, just wait. I'll put out fillers, I'll do it, side by side with something else, but I can't put everything into it because it happened with Jamel Charlo and Castano to me. As soon as I put out a video, boom, the fight was off. The fight was off. It also happened when I thought we was getting ready to see Amante Stanionis and Virgil Ortiz. And at first it was I think Stanionis had to get his Liverpool his something about his appendix or something like that. Don't quote me. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Something in his abdomen area worked out. That was the first time, and then the next 2 times it was rhabdomyolysis from Virgil, and Virgil went ahead and moved up, and Stylianis was stuck. And I did a video, and I'm like, man, I was head over. I felt the same way about this, because this is when the best fight the best, man. And I don't know why everybody distracted. Everybody want to be sloppy and messy, but it's just a pulse of where everybody at and what's so sensational. Everybody cares about everybody's pockets and legal stuff and this and that. Even though these guys are scheduled to get $2 million apiece. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing to shake a stick at. They getting that money on. You know what I'm saying? Plus something, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But they getting the money on. They getting everything that they need for this fight to go on. And so Beterbiev had a meniscus. That set it back. And so we creeping up on this, and everybody had got caught up in what Dmitry Bivol's wife had said about him. And I said, man, it's a wonder why me and Bivol get along, man, because I know how treacherous it can be out here in these BM streets. You know, I said, I'm not going to get focused on it, man. I'm not going to give nobody no glory. I'm not going to do any of that. The only portion that I took from it was this piece right here. The only piece, because I'm not one of them ones that's going, I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not going to do it. But this is what I took from it. This is from KO. This is from KO. Let me make sure I'm looking good. Okay, cool. Let me see. All right. Let me see. Again, this is not mine. I'm giving credit. It's KO. That's the article. You know what I'm saying? But when I seen it, and I was trying to qualify some things, because it's one thing when it's written on paper. That means you can go back and see it. You ain't said there's nobody hearing something different. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it like this. This is the portion, because I'm not going to highlight that messy stuff about what she said about him and this and this and that, even though I can cite a couple other boxers to where if these allegations, when these allegations or the possibility, even though they weren't found guilty in court, they ran with it. Like early in the morning with it. I'm not going to do that. I ain't going to do that. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to pick out, you know how they say, eat the fish, spit out the bones. That's me. That is me. So this is what I got out of it. This is the part that Spike, had my radar going on. I'm like, dang. So it says Ekaterina has further listed details of all Bivol's previous injuries to Beterbiev and his team in expectations that her ex loses the bout. I'm like, I know you feel that way about him, but who is going to be with you when you out here trying to hamstring, trying to ninja gating, trying to Iron Mike Tyson Z-bag. So I'm just like, man, it's crazy. But what she listed, like, if we're going to be realistic, because, you know what I'm saying, just like when it comes down to examining everything, if there is evidence, if it's something we can put on the scale, if it's something we can measure with a ruler, if it's something that we can, you know what I'm saying, get the length and width, the breadth, the depth, the capacity of, then let's do it. I want to tell you everything I know. He has a stress fracture of a vertebrae in his back. All his hands have been operated on, and not just once. One elbow for sure, very sore knees. His left ear is constantly swelling. It has been broken many times, and fluid has accumulated in his eyes many times. Sometimes he can't see well. But the main thing is that he is a coward. We need your victory, Artur, she confessed. I'm like, man, if that don't tell you, man, boy, you know what I'm saying? If that don't tell you what the extents, man, if you get down with a this was Judy wrote this September 28th. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna stop that, because I'm not advocating none of the other stuff, but I'm just saying the stuff that I took to, the stuff that I put in my rucksack and I marched on with. You know, that's what I took away from. So between that and then breaking down their resumes at a first glance, what I want to say is that, man, neither one of these guys are 100%. Neither one of these guys have had. Bivol has been a little more active than Beterbiev, but neither one of these guys have been fighting a whole bunch. And you know, Beterbiev is getting older, so there are a lot of things to factor in this. So that's just something to chew on. And I'm gonna go ahead and come out. Well, feel free to create the best burger, do you marinate the ground beef or do you just use salt and pepper and let it cook? Salute Bodywork, salute everyone, salute his twin. I got Bivol. Me too, Edward Morris. The only thing I do have up here, and I'm gonna see where my mans take it, but the only thing I have here is I have the box rec up, you know what I'm saying? It's in the background and we can look at the plus and minuses. I already know that in the plus and minuses, Bivol is he's up there, man. He's the offensive version of Shakur. He's more offensive. That's why he's pretty much guaranteed the damn win, because he's just as defensive, but he's more offensive. You know what I'm saying? He'll impose his will. But I'm gonna tap in with my man AC, and what's going on, AC?
Man, this is a great topic right here, bro. This information you brought out was spot on.
I think you got a little echo too. Do that thing just to make sure we crispy, man. I don't know. Did you stop that link? The other link?
How am I now? Still got the echo?
No, you good. Right. Thank you.
Yeah, because sometimes if I go right in it and it's just closed out, it'll give me the echo for like 30 seconds or so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you good. But go ahead, man. Go ahead.
But basically, these are the type of things we need for these for boxing shows, for somebody to go back in history and pull the things that guy decided to write about. That guy put in his work to bring up all of these examples, stretching all the way back to 1981. You got to give that man credit, and you got to put a spotlight on such good work. Whether you're piggybacking off of it or you're gonna cook on it or whatever, but it's all solid points. It comes a point where, are we talking marinating is duck talk, or are we talking marinating as, okay, it can marinate, but we're not gonna let a fight marinate 6-7 years? That's fucking ridiculous. A year, maybe a year or two, cool. Sometimes you want something to marinate between two young fighters because neither one of them have a big enough name yet. All right, cool. We'll let that marinate. We'll watch them, and you know, when we do our shows, we'll constantly, you know, have part of the agenda between the announcers and things like that, and the fight pundits and analysis constantly bring up the future bout between this person and this person, like there's a trajectory, like these two guys are inevitable. That's what we used to have in the 80s. Even though there was no in the 80s and 90s, even though we didn't have the internet and bloggers and everything like that, but the conversation at times was, you know, are we looking at a future fight maybe between the hard hitter puncher, boxer puncher, and Tommy Hearns and a slick fighter, Sugar Ray Leonard? Are we ever going to get that fight? Is that fight, you know, something that, you know, we can start to look forward to in the future if these guys stay on the same trajectory? It was words like that that were used that gave us hope that, yeah, we're going to see these big fights. And then when they happen, it was the talk of the town, talk of the barbershop, talk of the water cooler, talk on the supermarket line, at the drugstore line, at the gas station. These were places people would always talk about these things. So at the end of the day, you know, when that list came up, that was pretty fucking pathetic that all of those great fights in pretty much in this era, we didn't get. What was it? One out of 9? 1 out of 10?
Yeah,
one out of 10. I mean, like, bruh.
That's facts. Like, that's why I say that's facts, bro.
Like, bro, this shit is like, come on, man. We got to get past this shit. And
now you see what I be on. So now you see what I be on.
Yeah, and now it's like, all right, cool. You brought up what's the name what it was Caleb Smith you brought up, correct? Oh no. I forgot the name of the fighter you brought up that fought everybody in a winning and losing record. He will be more he will have more people talking about him in the future than a lot of these guys running around trying to keep their own. If we talk about major fights, who is going to remember if the fight did happen, Shakur Stevenson versus Artur? Who's going to remember Shakur Stevenson versus Cordinha? Nobody. As soon as the fight's over, it's forgotten. So at the end of the day, make the best fights. Win or lose, you're not going to lose your fan base. You might pick up more fans in a losing effort. And there is plenty of history of that. So that's kind of where I land the plane and everything, bro. It's just like, come on, man. We got to do better as boxing fans. You feel what I'm saying? Some of these fighters out here, if people got connections or other content creators, everybody kind of get on the same thing. Don't cook to defend why it shouldn't happen. Give us reasons why it should happen. I don't fuck with channels that's constantly telling me, oh, why this big fight can't happen. Oh, it's the business side of the boxing. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. It's like, okay, you definitely don't want to see the fight then, because you're not giving me any reason why I should want to see the fight. You're telling me every reason why I don't want to see the fight. Oh, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done enough. He hasn't deserved it. Look at his pay-per-view numbers. Look at his internet following. Yesterday, he took a piss and a little bit of pee got on the floor. Got on the floor next to the toilet, and he didn't wipe this shit up. So now his bathroom is kind of smelling like piss. So he definitely don't deserve the fight. It's like, come on, man. Stop that bullshit. Stop the protection. Stop the witness protection plan, because it doesn't do anything for nobody.
It's just, you know, what I take away from it is this, man. You're not gonna be able to stop it, because I was trying to analyze what is boxing now. Like, I was trying to really analyze what it is, because you can go through your amateur record, decide you want to go pro, and if you gonna look at this guy, I don't want to give him no pub because he really be biting my stuff, but I'm gonna just say that he was the guy that interviewed Since They Want to Play Games. I'm gonna say that he was the guy that interviewed Tim Bradley. when Tim Bradley was saying, "Oh man, that's a duck." If you go back and look at it, you know what I'm saying? If you just have a little bit of energy, if you don't have enough energy to look at that and going back, speaking to the audience, like if or people that's catching the playback, then you won't understand. But he had this guy on there, and this guy was like, I think this guy was, he was like either 38 and 0 or 41 and 0 on his channel. And this dude was on there calling out Tank. And I'm like, I went back and I said, okay, cool. I said, listen, if you're gonna get on camera and say that, I'm gonna go back and I went back and looked at this record. I'm gonna go back and look at the video. The only thing is, I think after that, because I think I comment on it, I think after that, when I went back to go look at the video, dude had blocked me. So I couldn't remember his name, and I don't know what I was doing at the time, but I don't remember his name. But it was similar to the name that I gave you, Genevivo Diaz. That was that guy, like with a bunch of nobodies and a bunch of, I mean, I ain't gonna say nobody, like respectfully. I'm just saying with a bunch of people that where you know that for this guy to have, like, he's 41 and 0. And I went down his resume. I did not know a soul. I'm talking about in the places where he fought and what he did and how he did it. This guy allowed him. Now, this guy can sit down with Tim Bradley at any given time and ask questions and talk. I think when Tim don't want to be a company man and he want to get something off his chest, he goes to this guy. I'm not gonna give him the pub since you know what I'm saying, since we playing games. I'm not gonna give you that. But if you go back and look, he did a video where he interviewed this guy, and that guy was able to call out Tank. And I said, listen, man, when you look back at it, I just showed proof using history, because I went back and used that article because I had something in my mind about this fight. And I'm like, well, okay, how am I going to talk about this fight? And I was saying, I'm going to talk about this fight in the aspect to where we should have been gotten this fight. This fight is like at least it's about 3 years to, like, I ain't gonna say it's past its prime, because I'm just glad we got it. But we could have got this fight 3 years ago, and like, man, it would have been, we don't know what we were getting. I'm just telling everybody how it is now. But what I'm saying is, depending on who you are and what's going on is how they're going to promote, because like the article said, man, boxing is a business, so the people that spin the narrative are doing it from a business approach. And the critical things, like you a chef, so you know that the critical things are the ingredients.
Yes, sir.
It's not what people are saying about, you know what I'm saying, the oils, or what they're saying about the spices. It's like, no, these are the ingredients. This is what they're known to do. This is what, so the ingredients is Bivol and Beterbiev. Those are the ingredients, and this is 175 Undisputed. This is actually more important than that fight that just happened with the heavyweights. Because everybody was undercover about the heavyweights, and everybody had their eyes on this fight, because this is pivotal. Because think about it, Benavidez is in line for this. Canelo talking about a rematch for this. So you know that the implications of this, with them getting 10 million there and Sheik putting this together for them, regardless of what happened, it might be a trilogy. We just don't know. But the implications after this means that the winner, if they're not gonna retire like Pop said, and they're gonna stay in the game, we know that next fight is gonna be, whoever it is, it's gonna be meaningful. It's gonna be pivotal. And we're just now getting it because of marination.
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're just getting it because of marination. So some of the elements of that article, it spoke to what's going on with Tank and Shakur right now. It spoke to what's going on with Devin and Tank right now. It spoke to what's going on with T.O. and Devin and them right now. Because listen, out of all those fights, we can go back and look, because I said, man, how ironic did they use that he pulled up the Regis Prograis and the Jose Ramirez fight, because Jose Ramirez, man, that dude figured out, oh, okay, I can get this amount in Fresno, and then he picked and chose. But people don't get that liberty. It's just the fact that he commands his own home audience. So it's either you're gonna get it inside the ring, you're gonna somehow land the names, and do the names emphatically, or you're gonna saturate your fan base to where it don't matter when you put on an event. I know I can count on this many numbers, and that's attractive to a promoter. Jose been pimping the game for so long, and we never got Jose Ramirez and Regis Prograis. But guess what? Regis Prograis was a boogeyman of some sort. People won't believe this because of what Devin did, but a lot of people was avoiding Regis at a certain period of time. And he had to go after he lost to Josh Taylor. He had to go back down. He had to work his way. He had to climb the stairs all the way back up. And Jose Ramirez denied this man and said, "Oh man, I can make more money fighting such and such over here in my own hometown," and avoided that man. But look at how they talking about Regis now. And Jose Ramirez is now one of those guys to where if somebody up and coming, they want to have a name on their resume and have a decent sized venue, they can say, "Oh man, I'm fighting Jose Ramirez. Oh man, he shared the ring with Josh Taylor. He did this, he did that." And that's how they're gonna play the game. When the guy like Regis, who went ahead and said yes to Devin, after that stuff that happened, he didn't sue. He didn't do none of that other stuff. He just took it. He's getting ready to fight Catterall, and he had to move back up. He had to go through the hard knock life. And think about how many fights Regis might have could have said, "You know what? I'm just going to take this and just do that and sacrifice this." He might not even be where he's at right now, where he's getting to fight a Catterall. But because people want to marinate, because we should have seen Regis Prograis and Jose Ramirez in their prime. And that was back in 2018. We didn't get that fight. AJ and Deontay Wilder, we didn't get it. We didn't get it. Like, we only got one. We got Earl Spence and Bud. And just like the article said, man, we know something was going on. Like, I don't want to get into the politics of all that, but like, we got it. So we could check the block. But we can say that it wasn't as bad as Manny in Floyd, but it was the time wasn't as bad. But what happened on the outside and the inside and how it played out, it you know what I'm saying? We got it, but it wasn't what we wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like the article said. That's why it resonated with me. I went back and found that because it embodied what I was thinking about this whole situation as far as marination. That's why I'm like, look, we're not going to rush you to go do nothing crazy. That's why I be trying to tell people, like, listen, man, Keyshawn, okay, cool. If you sell this out and you do your thing, if you sell this out, the next move ain't tank. The next move would be to go ahead and get your belt and establish yourself as a champion and then it. But no, I've recently heard that he's going to try to beat Lemos and then think he's going to be next in line for Tank. And I'm just like, it's like, no. So in a marination, it's like, if they give it to us, sign me up. I'm driving there. I'm on my way. I'm giving me a ticket. But as far as both of them and all that, I understand that to an extent. You got to check this block before you can get there. So I understand it to a certain extent like that. But like, marination has caused us to get. The guy I told you since 2018 with the biggest fights, I couldn't argue with any of them except for maybe some of them smaller size like Ron Versailles and them. Maybe, you know what I'm saying. But like, he talked about 10%. It ain't no different now. Yeah. And Cook, you know what I'm saying? You know, I've been excited about it, and I'm confused because people be talking about, "Oh man, I'm boxing, and you don't know shit about boxing, you just be hating." I'm like, but what are you talking about? You talking about the drama. I'm talking about this right here. Yeah. Like I said in the comment, you cannot, if you're a boxing fan, this is 50-50 at its best. Both guys could debate why they think their guy's going to win, but you still have to respect both sides of the argument, whether you're a Beterbiev fan or you're a Bivol fan. You feel what I'm saying? This is what boxing fans live for. You feel what I'm saying? So let's stop talking about shit that's not on the table and let's cook on this, because this is the biggest fight right now. So any other fight ain't really as big as this one right here. This fight is big because you got them two and it's meaningful. You feel what I'm saying? Right. It has big implication. They're getting They're getting their money's worth. You know what I'm saying? And we know that skill for skill, like people, you can't defend. You can have a strong idea. Like I got a strong idea, but I can't definitively say who's gonna win this. Like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't get this, and this is not what's being talked about. That's why when people get all on that legacy shit and all that, the belt shit and all this, because they shitting on Tank getting ready to fight a champion, but then everybody else is picking other people because of a name and money and all that. I'm like, man, like they be gaslighting, man. So I gotta keep it a buck, put stakes in the ground, and say, listen, man, we are very close to getting one of the biggest fights in boxing, and ain't nobody really talking about it. I mean, we 9 days out.
Yeah, so here's my new same energy question. If Tank was fighting Cordelia, what would you say? For all the Shakur whisperers out there and the Tank haters out there, what would y'all say if Tank was gonna fight Cordelia? Would y'all say, oh, there ain't nobody that want to fight him? Because at the end of the day, we see it's just as hard for Tank to get fights. So if Tank was going to fight Cordelia, what would you guys say? Would y'all make excuses of why it happens? So at the end of the day, it's for me, it's always nowadays. I'm looking at it. I'm tasting the seasoning you're trying to put on it. And if the shit is bitter or too spicy, I'm just gonna let you know, nah, bro, it's not balanced. You forgot you forgot all the flavor profiles. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to make it palatable for me.
Yeah.
This way, I don't have a reason to try to debate you on what you're telling me. You feel what I'm saying? So when you just hop over here. You feel me? Then I'm gonna say, well, why didn't you hop over? Why did you hop over there? Oh, because I'm telling you right now, Bivol's gonna beat him because this and this, he old and this and that and yada yada yada. I said, but the same questions or the same injuries can be stated for Beterbiev to win. I can't in all honesty tell you you're wrong, because this fight is just that close to me. I'm just going, honestly, I'm going with who gives me more spectacular fights. That's how I'm gonna nitpick this shit. You feel what I'm saying? Who's just giving me more spectacular fights? And this way you gotta get petty, you gotta nitpick at certain things. You feel what I'm saying? To try to convince yourself of your guy winning. But if you just look at it objectively, you would look at this fight, look at where it's at right now, and say, I honestly can't tell you who's gonna win this fight. I just want to see it.
Yeah, and that would just be you just picking for the sake of somebody, you know what I'm saying, putting the gun to your head and saying, boom, okay, all right, if I'm gonna do it, just that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
if I'm gonna do it, Beterbiev. Okay, you got it. Beterbiev.
Yeah, so yeah.
And then tomorrow I might say Bivol. Oh, but you just said yesterday Beterbiev. Doesn't matter. It's just that close to me. I can't. I'm gonna go back and forth on it every day until the fight happens, and up to the time the bell rings, I'm still gonna be undecided. That's just me. You feel what I'm saying? Other people who are out here like yourself and other content creators, you guys may hone in by the time the bell rings and say, listen, I'm gonna try to land my plane here and hope my guy wins, because I did a show on it, I cooked on it. There was some little rice grains that I had to sweep up off the floor and try to figure out what they telling me, and this is where I'm landing my plane. But honestly, nobody can sit here and definitively tell me who wins this fight.
Yeah, I've been a Bivol fan, man. I've been a Bivol fan, so
Same here.
I just stick to my guy. Like, that's my guy. Like, I have in my boxes to watch collection, man, I have nothing but killers, man. And I try not to get swept up in what they do outside the ring. I start inside the ring, and if the conversation propels me to step outside, I'll address it. But I stick to the shit I see in the ring. I look at CompuBox, I look at the stats, I go back and look at the fights. Actually, I might look at it in real time, do my score, and then go back and listen to it with the volume on while I'm just watching it. So it's just certain things that I see, and I'm gonna ride with Bivol. But if Beterbiev stopped him, he got 100% stopping rate. Like, shoot me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that happens, like, that's just my pick. It's almost just like how it was with Spence and Bud. Like, it's almost like the same way, except for Spence was like my guy. You know what I'm saying? It's just Bud. I called him the coach. I said, man, if Earl go in there slipping, Bud is a predator. That's the nature of my channel. He's a true predator. Like, he's not gonna play with, like, he smelled blood, it's over. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of them kind of things for me. And I think this is one of the things that's right with boxing, and a lot of people be saying I be hating, but I gotta give Sugar Daddy Sheik his credit. If this shit get over the finish line, with everything that we know about both of them being injured, all of the, you know what I'm saying, whatever, the politics holding it back, the fact that, you know, this wasn't going to happen because these guys neither one of them is American, neither one of them are like blockbuster, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta give Sugar Daddy Sheik his salutes on this one. I don't just hate, I'm just talking about balls going in holes, soccer balls going in goals, and once that happens, I'll be like, you motherfucker, you did that, Sheik. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been tempted. We've been tempted. You know what I'm saying? We've been tempted before. Exactly.
The crazy shit is, in order this fight to be made, if we're gonna talk about the politics of boxing, or just the politics in this fight at this level, is both these guys had to leave their home country and register themselves to live in a whole nother country in order for this fight to get made so they can get paid. Because where they come from, the globe, pretty much the globe, with the exception of 2 countries, have sanctions on them, to whereas you're not gonna get paid. So it's like, bro, this is, you know, this is something different. So if the fight gets over the line, you better believe this is something that pay the pay-per-view. Watch it, support these guys, because they're in a really weird situation. And if we love the sports and care about the fighters, then you know what I'm saying? Put as much money in their pocket as you possibly can, because dudes will pay money for a lopsided fight all day, because this is your favorite fighter and shit like that. So pay what's got to be paid for this one. Put money in these guys' pockets, so you know they could do what they got to do, and hopefully, you know, we can get the rematch and shit like that. So hey, that's pretty much it for me. It's the type of thing that I could talk about it, but I can't really cook on it, because I don't want to say nothing and then within the last 9 days, and I'm just speaking superstitiously, within the last 9 days, some stupid shit happens. So at the end of the day, bro, just make sure the fight go through. Everybody within a reach of my voice, make sure y'all dudes pay for that pay-per-view and put some money in these guys' pockets. Because with the situation that they're in, I'm not saying that they need it, but if we're all supporting the sport, this is the perfect fight to support for many reasons, inside and outside the ring.
Bars, you know what I'm saying? 10 times 10 language, you know what I'm saying? That's grown man language. That's what the sport needs, and this is where the attention really should be, man. So you really starting to see the Ricky Lakes of this shit, the motherfucking Jerry Springs of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you know, this, we all about that good wholesome boxing talk. You know what I'm saying? We, you know, and we're gonna try to keep it like that. I think that, yeah, you know, this is a fight we're gonna get. It's a little marination. I believe that this is going to be a chess match for many different reasons, and it's just a treat to see.
Yeah.
Don't get so overwhelmed and get caught up in what I call this. Since a picture is worth 1,000 words, don't get caught up in the whole divide and conquer where you got to feel like but it's gangs and crips. It's like, no, man, this is a fight where some guys that's going to arguably probably go in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? They probably are. Especially the winner. I think even the loser, it'll be interesting. But they arguably will, man, because this is 175 Undisputed. This is like, if you consider like when weight classes got split up and they did all this stuff with belts and, this division right here, this is closer to where when the big dog was playing. Short of heavyweight, you know what I'm saying? When the big dog was playing, like, this was prime time. These ain't no small guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a chess match. It's really a pick'em fight. It's really a flip a coin fight. If you find yourself on a channel and they're trying to put a battery in your bag and funnel some acid like sugar down your throat and make you do the hokey pokey and turn yourself around, get out of there. You know what I'm saying? Focus on the task at hand, and this fight is going on. We're gonna put some positive vibes to this fight, get across the finish line. We're gonna support these guys. And once the verdict happens, it's guaranteed to have another great fight after that. So I would say that, man, good cook on your part, man. Only thing I want to ask you before you go is, I heard I just got the news like right before I was getting ready to come on, man, that Richardson Hitchens, my guy Richardson Hitchens, is actually going to get his shot at Liam Paro, man.
Uh-oh.
You believe it, man? Like, listen, man. Like, look, this is the beauty of the channel. I said that, look, this guy right here, the guy on the far right, the one who I've been tracking and been doing videos. I'm getting ready to do another piece on him. I've been tracking and saying, okay, cool, and he been doing it under IBF when everybody scoffed at him. Like when Devin came out and laughed at him and said, you making a weight excuse. I'm like, man, Devin, come on, man. Like, don't, bro. Where's your PR, bro? Don't talk to nobody that's fighting for IBF, bro. This is not, it just raised too many questions from a business standpoint. He did it under IBF. He went to war with Lemos. He came out with a dub, never got dropped, didn't get stopped. Keyshawn get ready to cut his teeth on the Lemos and make his name. If he go out there and stop him or do good or whatever, he built that guy. But this guy is finally about to get his shot.
Yeah, that just shakes up the whole division all over again. The winner of that fight is going to have implications at 140. Because if he upsets the card again by beating Paro, now that's just saying, all right, man, come on, man. 140's on fire. Y'all niggas got to respect that division. It's moving a little slow, but you got to respect what's going on over there.
And look, if that happened, if that happened, I'm gonna respect Liam Paro. I got mad respect for Liam Paro because he did what I thought he wasn't capable of doing. I gave him respect. I did my video talking about his chances. I'm so proud of my breakdown pre-fight that I have nothing to be ashamed of after.
Yeah.
So if Hitchens go in here and do this to this guy, you gotta look that Richardson and Hitchens will give T.O. problems. Why? Because T.O. got dropped twice by Sandor Martin because Richardson and Hitchens can box and he been battle tested.
Yes, sir.
Pillow can box. Like Ryu said that Teofimo, he basically said Teofimo gets anxiety when my name comes up, and there ain't no press out there doing it. Ain't nobody out there talking about it. I'm like, why wouldn't T.O. be jumping on Ryu now? Ryu came out and said T.O. gets anxiety when my name is mentioned, and ain't nobody saying shit. If you put Richardson Hitchens up there, he's a real star player now, and he did it the hard way by going up through the IBF, by making it off for TMT. He is a success story, a black, a black dude from New York. And I was surprised to hear black folks calling in, shitting on him on this other show, and all they say, oh, he a duck, he this and this. And I was like, hold on, man. Like we are our worst, you know what I'm saying? We are our own worst enemies, man.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I can almost smell it in the air right now. He goes up there and beats Paro. 2 names is gonna consistently come out of that man's mouth. He gonna say either give me Ryo or give me Tio. I want Tio because I want I want that lineal champion. Let me prove to y'all I'm the best. Give me Tio. If I can't get Tio, and Tio start making these weird ass excuses, give me Ryo. Ryo's coming off an excellent fight with Pitbull. So Ryo reestablished himself, reestablished his name. Hey Ryo, let's do this. We gonna make money. You feel what I'm saying? And they gonna save the last for the WBC champion. A unification. You go this way, I go this way, and the winner of these 2 fights, we meet up for Undisputed.
And that's a hard, like Puelo, he's so tough to beat that if you don't got nobody, if you can't go to his body, he's gonna beat you, man.
Yeah.
That dude, Puelo is so skilled, man. And Gary Antoine is my guy. But I was saying that even in my breakdown, man, before that, man, I broke it down, man. Like the dude is nice, like 140. All these divisions, if you look at their skill sets and where we at and don't compare them to yesterday or yesteryear, like all these guys that got to this level, man, there's something to deal with. But some of it's fluff. Some people got to certain positions, but this one, it's the real deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then in 47, for a second, if we go there before we get out of here, if we just dip off into there, it's just like, yes, the guy on the far left, he has a big advantage. He has like a head start as far as popularity.
Yeah.
But as far as like under the big bright lights, facing adversity, doing this and this and that, you don't know what's going to happen in any of these fights. You can assume Boo's going to walk away, but you don't know that.
Yeah. Because I still got issues with Boots on why you never fought Stanionis. Why have you never fought Stanionis when Stanionis said, hey, listen, those guys up at the top got the thing wrapped up. You know, I'll fight Virgil or Boots. What's up? Let's get a round robin. I was like, hold up. Look at Stanionis saying the same thing I'm saying, but dude just telling me, oh, you crazy as hell. Why would he give up his position? He this, he that, and he'll give up his position to do what you saying? He in line for a belt. So what? If you in line for a belt and you really that guy, then guess what? You'll go out there, you'll knock off everybody else. So by the time they get a belt, you already have one up on them. I beat you before. And it wasn't that long ago, so we could do the rematch when we both got belts now. Yeah. Make the fight even bigger. More money, more money, more money. You feel what I'm saying? But dudes is scared of, nah. I don't want no, listen. Right now, I'm old. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to have that one near my shit. So I'm protecting my O. I got my O in the safety deposit box in a bank at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Ain't nobody getting to that bitch. You feel what I'm saying? And I'll land my plane right there. Great cook body. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you, man. Good one, man. Good. Thanks for the contribution, man. Thanks for gracing the panel and keeping it a buck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
All right then, man. Well, shoot, we'll catch up.
Yeah, definitely. Salute, bro. Salute to the panel. Salute to the chat, man. For everybody on the playback game, like, subscribe, hate, but make sure you participate. Just like the dude tried to call you a dead fan for what you said. I'm like, this nigga ain't never watched Body. That's funny as hell.
I'm like, yeah, you definitely not a mind reader, cuz, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Don't quit your day job.
All right, bro.
All right, bro. Peace. But yeah, man, I just wanted to lay something on you, man. I didn't get to the box recs portion. I actually did have box rec. I did have it pulled up. I was going to get to that part, but I think it's a good build. It's a comfortable build. I gave somewhat of a meat and potatoes of the basis of the fight, but I did have it available. I was going to go over the dimensions of these guys, and I was going to talk about I was going to go into some of their records and look at the activity, inactivity things, just to kind of help people be more informed when they speak about it, because you know a lot of people be talking boxing off their emotions, man. And like, yeah, for my guys, like the guys who I know, man, that get it hard, like if you're not a part of a certain struggle, you don't really understand it. You know what I'm saying? So I may give some of them grace, and then I will give them, like, it's almost like when I was in the army and the sergeant, you know, teaching a grown man how to wash clothes, but then also making them have to do push-ups when he come to the formation when his uniform is wrinkled. You know what I'm saying? It's a necessary evil, but when you building character, when you trying to instill a standard and uphold it, there's certain things you got to do and take ownership. And in boxing talk, it's not a lot of it, man. But I was going to get into, you know, box rec, and I'm sure if somebody come out with it, you know what I'm saying? I'm competing with some powerful people, man, because just today, if you go back and look, man, what's the odds that I say I'm going on at 8:30 and then somebody going on at 8:15? If I say I'm going on at 8, they going on at 7:45. I'm talking about a major platform. So it's like, I know I'm doing my thing, man. And I now understand, if you don't have haters, you ain't popping. So we're dealing with a 1-inch reach deficit on behalf of Bivol, and then we're dealing with a 1-inch height advantage when it comes to Bivol over Beterbiev. So reach is Beterbiev, height is Bivol. We can go through the pluses and minuses. I was gonna go down back through the resumes and who knew who and you know what took place. Bottom line is, look, man, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. He's skunking people, man. This was a close fight. This judge had it. But most of them be blowouts. 118, 110, 117, 111, 117, 111, 119, 109, 119, 108. It's no, you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what you coming with, no matter how, like Joe Smith Jr., do he punch? Can he punch? Who they thought Gilberto Ramirez was before he put him, you know what I'm saying, like Sean Payton, put him in the glove? You know what I'm saying? I could go into that, but, you know, I'm sure, you know, I don't know, man. It's out there. I did it first. Like T.O. and his dad, I did it first. I don't know, I did it first. Oh, man, a lot of times the stuff go down on the lives, man. I don't have the energy to actually prove it. You know, it's just, you know, it is what it is, man. I hope you appreciate the truth. If you can, like the video. If you can, subscribe to the video, even if you want an alternative, because I always say this is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. This is fact-based content, not opinion-based. This is the alternative to what everybody else is saying, something to actually stimulate your critical thinking skills and abandon your rote memorization and regurgitation, man. Like, I think that's one of the qualities that they're taking away from us. They got us emotionally charged, we're memorizing and programmed. But I want us to be more logically driven, more critically thinking, and more effective in our approach to everything we face, whether we online or not. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, share the videos, donate to the super chat. I'm one of the ones that did it the hard way. I don't pay for anything, man. I don't have no support other than what my fans give me or people that appreciate the content give me, man. If you're going to support the big guys who going to lie to you, give you opinion based, support the little guys who going to give you that fact base and make you think about something. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate everybody who come through and always like, comment. If you catch me in the playback, talk to me. I talk back. Fact-based content. You feel me? It was a pleasure, man. Beterbiev versus Bivol. Much needed fight. Fuck all the dumb shit. Focus on the real shit. And that's real spit. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.